trending in the right direction. He warmed up with the group and then got in the work that he needs to and check the boxes he needs to today. And tomorrow, plan is to train with the group and be ready to go.
Greg, one thing you talked about a couple months ago, guys have got to sacrifice in order for this group to be successful. Can you elaborate more on what you've seen out of this group throughout the season?
Yeah, I think just with all players, I think when they come in and they are fitting into kind of some ideas, concepts, systems, things like that, you have to sometimes sacrifice what you feel are all of your qualities to the group, you know, or open your mind to adapting and adding something to your game, you know. And I think guys have done that. I think Gabe was a great example of somebody who came to us as an out-and-out winger, who opened his mind to kind of moving into interior spots within the game and picking up balls between lines and doing things from different areas of the field other than just staying on the sideline and playing kind of one-on-one. And so his game has certainly evolved, and he's had a huge season. So he's an example. A lot of guys, there are a lot of examples through that, and I think that's just what everybody does when you're committing to a collective project, right? And this group has done that. And I think it's done it in the way, and you can measure it on the number of guys who have double-digit goals, right? Which is sharing and setting each other up, trusting each other, and knowing that when you set the next guy up, he's going to set you up for the next one, and so on and so forth. And when you do that, everybody succeeds, and everybody has the opportunity to play at a high level and to help the team.
You talked yesterday about the battle in the midfield against the Red Bulls. You have some choices to make. I wonder how you approach that, and specifically where Mark Delgado fits into that.
Yeah, you know, just having played the Red Bulls a lot over the years, and every coach is a subtle different, and typically they stay kind of in the same wheelhouse. They're looking to, you know, press at times. Transitions are most important. They're going to play forward through the lines. It's not a team, I think they're last in the league in possession. So it's not a team that necessarily wants to have a ball, but they're going to put you on your heels, and you're going to try to make you to defend in transition moments. And so making sure that we try to win the middle of the field is going to be really important. And you know, so how we set up our midfield and how we structure ourselves both behind our attacks but also just in defensive moments is going to be really important. And making sure that our reactions when balls turn over, things like that, are going to be really important. So these are, you know, in my opinion, they're keys to the games, because that and set pieces are a huge part of how they create goal-scoring chances. Again, they're not capable in possession, but I think even in the playoffs, they've tended to trend more towards the aggressive forward pass, transition-oriented, than in parts of the season I felt like they were evolving a little bit possession-wise, but I think they've gone a little more direct even in the playoffs. So we're going to have to manage those first and second balls. Again, density is going to be important through the game. Having guys who are in there who can compete for first and second balls and do all that is just going to be important. Again, as part of it is just tactically setting up and also being aware, but also some of it's personnel related, right? So Markey plays a big role in that, of course.
They're worst in possession, or least in possession.
Yeah, it's least. It's just not their plan, right?
In which ways does that play into your hands? I mean, you want the ball.
Yeah, I think it just depends, you know. If they come and they decide that they're pressing us high, we've got to be able to find solutions in those situations, because if you do, there's space on the other side. You can't press with the front group and not press with the back group. So if you can find solutions, there's a lot of space for Joe and for Gabe and for Decky and for guys that can run and can punish you if you provide them with space. So part of it is we have to be able to find solutions. We have to be in the right spots at the right times, find solutions, and get ourselves in positions we can face forward and take a good look at that space that's behind them. And then again, it's a game that there's a lot of transitions. So for us, it's also about managing the moments where they do nick it on us or they do create a problem, because they will, that we manage those moments well. And so again, I always say going in, because we typically have a fair share of the possession of the game, how the opposition chooses to defend us is going to play a big role in this, right? If they sit a little lower at times and mid-block or low block to take away some of the space, or maybe because pressing for 90 minutes is not necessarily the way to go, then it's going to be also managing some of those moments and figuring out how to break them down, because they'll at that time put 5 in the back usually, and they become still pretty stingy. And they're very good at a step-out press and then turning those long transitions. I think they're 1 or 2 in the league, and long transitions turned into chances. And so that's also something we have to be mindful of.
Hey Greg, I just was curious to know, this game's going to be a 1 p.m. kickoff. How much of an impact is that for you guys? I think the last time you guys had a kickoff like this was last season. They're going to be at like a 4 p.m. body clock. So how much of an impact does the kickoff time have?
Yeah, I mean, it changes a little bit for routines for guys just because everything gets fast forwarded a little bit in terms of the day. I don't hate it because I think in these days when you're waiting all day, it can be, you could sit there and be twiddling your thumbs and figuring out what to do all day. This will be pretty quick. Guys will wake up, they'll be walking into pregame meal and getting themselves ready to go. I think the energy in the stadium, the fans, the day, the occasion will have guys awake and ready to roll. So I don't play too much into it. We'll have some sun. It'll be a little bit warmer than probably it is in New York. You know, if it's 75, 77 degrees, that's a nice spring day in New York, not a winter day. So for us, it's every day. So that's not so bad. But that's it. Again, I think the energy of the moment is going to certainly have both teams very aware right from the start.
Are you guys gathering before the game? Are you the night before?
Yes.
You be staying in a place?
Yeah.
Greg, you referenced set pieces earlier for the Red Bulls, and obviously that's been an area that has maybe plagued you guys a little bit defensively this season, less so in the playoffs. As you've had a chance to kind of look back on the year and think about that, especially ahead of Saturday, what do you attribute some of those struggles to, and how are you preparing, even if it's just about the mentality kind of heading into the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think, early in the year, the struggles for us were sometimes it was just in our aggressiveness, putting the right guys in the right spaces and figuring out who's going to attack the ball in the near space, who's the best guys to mark up because they're going to fulfill those roles. That's one thing you have to, I think, assess as you go through a season, especially our team is not necessarily the biggest and we're not necessarily the most aggressive in the air. So figuring out who can fulfill what tasks on a consistent basis is part of it, Second is just continuing to work to make guys better markers, to make guys better in zones, to be able to attack the ball, right? And so I think between that, our mentality's gotten better. I think we've become more aggressive. And I think we've, again, tactically and strategically trying to find the right ways to match the other team's strengths while trying to put our guys in the best position to be successful. Those are lessons over the season. Like you said, I think we've found good solutions, but it's going to be another challenge this weekend. Seattle was excellent in those situations. We managed them, and now we're going to be facing another team that has a lot of quality in those moments.
Anything else? On a personal note, you spent a lot of your MLS playing career with the Galaxy. What does it mean to you to be able to deliver an MLS Cup to them as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the club where I got my start, and this is the club where I retired. It's the club that I feel like, for me certainly as a player, has been home, and now it's as a coach, I'm back because this is home for me. So I'm honored to be here. I came back because I felt like I wanted the opportunity to try to help this club back to the legacy that was created from the very first year, where the club was competing for championships from 1996 and many since then. I think this is 10th or something since then. So this is my fourth with this club, and so I've lost 3 before. So the goal is to try to change that narrative a little bit more. But ultimately, the goal was to bring this club back to the top where I think it belongs, and obviously where the expectation is of them, and also to work with this group of players and all the players that I've had come through during these last 4 years to give them an opportunity to be in this moment and cement their legacy at this club, because there's a lot of big names who've played for this club, most of whom have won championships, and this is the opportunity for this group to create that legacy for themselves. So that's what I'm here. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for them. To go out there and have this moment and compete for 90 minutes in a game like this it's a big lesson for these guys, and I think they're ready to go get it done.
For the documentary?
Yes. One of
the
the others are for the other.
All right,
Busy times, yeah.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Should I do my-